Hello everyone! My name is Jennifer Stay. This is Coloring Bliss. This sweet little dog right here is Rose, and we are here today to talk about one of my absolute favorite things, and that is swatching. If you know anything about me, you know that I love swatching. For a long time here with Coloring Bliss, we've been providing you this beautiful swatching book on my favorite color pencil paper, marker paper, mixed media paper, and recently over at the Coloring Bliss print shop, we have released watercolor paper. And the very first thing I had my husband, my business partner, print for me was a swatch book on watercolor paper, and I have been spending a lot of time swatching all of my beautiful watercolor paints into one place, one beautiful swatch book where I will have all of my paints swatched in one place. If you're like me, you have swatches of all your paints here, there, in one watercolor book, and that watercolor book, and that sketchbook. You've got swatches everywhere, and it gets really confusing, and you start losing track of exactly what paints do you have, and how do they compare from that set to that set. Well, this little swatch book right here is going to solve that problem. So I highly recommend you come on over to the Coloring Bliss print shop and check it out. There's a link right below. Right now, if you are here watching this video in July 2019, we are doing a book a day giveaway. So also check out the link in this video and go over and enter for your chance to win a Coloring Bliss book this month so that you have a chance for one of your very own book printed on one of these beautiful watercolor papers. Okay, so how do I swatch? Basically, I swatch in two different ways, and that's why I have two books in front of me that I wanted to show you. I've got this book right here, which is what I'm swatching in today. This is volume 1, and it's a swatching catalog. So it has page after page of swatching squares. There's 60 squares per page, and you get to just swatch one set of paints right after another. So you just catalog all of your paints. It's a great way to swatch. Now there's another way to swatch that I really like, and this is volume 2. This one is really great if you like swatching in sets. So we call it swatching sets. So if you have a set of 12 paints, 12 color pencils, 12 markers, this book is perfect for that. Let me give you an example right here. I had a set of 12 Sharpie brush pens that I wanted to swatch, so I switched over to the marker paper, and I was able to find the section with 12 swatch sections, and I had a room for the name, the color, the title of the type of pen. It works perfect. I love our swatching books. They are so much fun. So why even bother swatching? Let's talk about why should you swatch. Okay, so I have 5 reasons to swatch. This is the main 5 reasons why I love to swatch. The first one is to catalog your art supplies. If you're like me, your collection of art supplies is growing and growing, and it starts to get a little confusing. Which supply do you have? Do you already own it? Do you have the full set? Which part of that set do you still need to purchase? So swatching helps you catalog exactly what you have, keep track of it, and remind you what awesome tools you have in your stash. Okay, the second reason why I think you should swatch is so that you can learn how your tool works and interacts with certain papers. Swatching really helps you understand from tool to tool. Does this marker act the same way as this marker? Does this paint lay down the same way as this paint? Does it act the same way on this kind of paper as it does on this kind of paper? That's why I was so excited when we finally released our watercolor paper, because watercolor paints act very different on watercolor paper than they do on standard cardstock. So I want to see how my watercolor paints look on our new watercolor paper. So that's why I have a swatch book printed specifically on our watercolor paper. Okay, the third reason why you need to swatch is so that you have a quick reference of what tools you have and what colors you have in those certain tools. So when you do sit down to color, to make a card, to do a painting, you'll be able to flip through that reference book and find which tools you have. Which ones do you have in metallic? Which ones do you have a really good deep brown? Which ones do you have for a really good portrait skin tone set? This quick reference of swatches is really going to help you. Okay, the fourth reason why I love my swatch book is because it helps me get inspired. If you're ever in a creative slump or you don't know exactly what to do to color a certain page or what colors you want to use on a certain piece of art, a swatch book is so much inspiration. You can open it up, flip through, look at some beautiful colors. Maybe there's a tool you haven't used in a long time, and when you see it here, swatched and all the beautiful things that it can do, it's going to inspire you and get you going on that art adventure. All right, now the last and maybe the most important reason why I suggest that you swatch is because it is very relaxing and very therapeutic. Sometimes when I want to do some art, I don't want to sit down and do an entire art piece, but I do want to have the experience of enjoying my art tools, enjoying the process of putting colors down on paper, and swatching is the perfect opportunity to do exactly that. In fact, we have a swatch book, it's volume 3, and it's all graphical, beautiful images and pictures that you can swatch colors into. You don't really have to worry about, do I put the right color here, the right color there? You just swatch colors into these beautiful images and enjoy the process of just putting color to paper. And it's very soothing, very relaxing and therapeutic. That's a great reason to swatch just in and of itself. All right, so that was 5 reasons why I think you should start a swatch book right away. So whether you come and purchase one at Coloring Bliss's print shop or not, I think you need to start a swatch book. Now, today I'm going to be swatching the last set of watercolor paints that I have here in my art studio, and it's this set right here. It's a very unique set of paints, and I like carrying it in a pochade that I have. A pochade is a box, a wooden box that you carry with you outside and do painting, and it's really handy. It has lots of colors. It's not the highest quality paint ever, but it works really well for just painting and having fun outside. So I need to swatch this set of paints into my swatch book. Now, I've swatched before. This was a recommendation of one way to swatch these paints that I got from Lindsay the Frugal Crafter. I'll put a link to her video in the description of this video so that if you want to see how she suggests swatching her paints, you can follow that link and go see how she suggested I do this, and that's where I got this idea. And it works great for having a quick reference right with me when I'm outside painting with these paints. But like I said, I want to have these paints swatched in this catalog so that I will always remember that I have this set available ready to inspire me and get me going for painting. So I'm going to flip to an available page. I've got 42 colors to swatch. So the first thing I need to do is find a good page in my swatch book to work in. So let me show you what I've done so far. Here is a page with my Kuretake swatches. I've got some empty spaces ready because I have plans to purchase additional Kuretake paints very soon. This is where I've been swatching any metallic paints that I have, and yes, I have plans to purchase additional metallic paints, so I've left some more room here. Here I've been swatching some of my Jane Davenport products. There's some more Jane Davenport products. These are my Winsor & Newton paints. I've got some professional paints and some Cotman paints, and this has been really great because I'm able to compare professional to Cotman right side by side and feel them as I was swatching them, how they acted on the paper, the differences between the two. It was a really good exercise and I learned a lot. Here's some more paints that I was able to swatch, and 3 more sets of paints. And here we have a nice big blank area, but I don't think there's enough room here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times 6 is 30, and I need 42. So we're gonna switch and go to the next page and swatch this set right here. So I need to set up this page for swatching watercolor paint. And as you can see on these pages, I've been drawing a black line in the middle of each swatching square. This allows me to be able to see how transparent or opaque each type of paint, each color, each brand, how opaque or transparent is the paint. That's what I want to see by laying down a black line inside each of the squares. So I have here a Sharpie marker and a ruler so that I can draw each of those lines. So I'm going to switch over to the next page, where we're going to do the swatching of this set. And I'm going to hit fast forward on this and hurry and set up this page, and then I'll be right back to explain the next step. Okay, so we've got all those lines laid down. Now we've got a ruler that has black Sharpie on it. We got to get that rinsed off. So the way I do it is I put a paper towel behind it and I use a little bit of hand sanitizer and it takes it right off. So I'll just put a little along the edge. You could use rubbing alcohol too, but I find this works really good. Takes it right off of your nice ruler. And then it won't transfer onto anything that you might draw another time. So make sure you clean that off. So the next step is we need to put down some vital information about what paint we are swatching. So the first thing is to write down the name of the brand. So I like to use, for my notes on here, a Micron PN pen. And this is by Sakura. I really love the PN pens. They're my new favorite Sakura pen. They're archival, they are water resistant once they dry, so they are perfect for when you're swatching water type products. So really like these pens. I'll put a link to them in the video description. Okay, so I'm going to put a line right here so I remember that this set ended right there. And then we will write the name, which is Superior Watercolor. Okay, and I just wrote the word fan there because it'll help me remember that this was that fan type of watercolor so I can find it easily. Okay. Now, underneath each swatch square is where we're going to write the color name. And on these ones, the color names are little numbers, codes, like a C and then a 01. So I'm going to go through really quick now. We'll hit fast forward again, and I'm going to write down all of the names. Okay, now that we've got all the pertinent information down, we get to the fun part, which is applying the color to the swatch squares. So for this, I'm just going to use a nice little round brush. This is a watercolor brush, a number 8 round, and it has a nice point that it comes to, which I really like. This is just by Master's Touch, nothing really fancy or expensive. It's just a good basic brush. I have 2 vessels of water. Now I'm going to be uploading a video really soon about how I manage my water with watercolor. I've got a trick that I learned from another YouTuber that I'm going to be sharing, and it's fantastic, simple, but fantastic. So watch for that upcoming video. Make sure you hit subscribe and that little bell, make sure you ring it so you don't miss that upcoming video. Okay, so to swatch each of these colors, what we're going to do is lay down a full pigment amount at the top of each square and then dilute it down towards the bottom of the square. So I'm going to go ahead and lay down some of this until we get to some of the more vibrant colors so you can see it on screen better, and we'll talk about why I do it this way and my experience as I'm swatching. So one vessel of water for clean water and one for washing my brush. Plus that same towel I used to clean my ruler is ready for me to dab off my brush. So let's get started. Okay, we're moving into about halfway of the swatches here, and this is a perfect place to show you why I do the full pigment across the top of the swatch and then add the water at the bottom. So let's take a closer look at what's happening here at the swatches. I'm going to zoom down just a little bit so you can see. Now, as you can see where the full pigment is, especially on these greens, you can see as I add the water and water it down, the white of the paper comes through that beautiful translucent paint, and you start to see the undertones and the granulation and the way that the watercolor is going to act as you use it on a painting or a coloring page or whatever it is that you're using. So here you can see this particular green has a lot of yellow undertones. This one too, a lot of yellow. This one has more bluish undertones. So same up here in the reds. As you water them down, you can start to understand the colors. More orangey, more blues. Then you compare your colors together better and mix them better together if you understand what the undertones of the colors are. That's the hardest thing for me sometimes when I'm using watercolor is how do you mix the colors correctly so you don't get these muddy, weird mixes. You get more bright, accurate mixes of exactly what you want when you're painting. Well, when you swatch like this, then you understand your colors and you compare them better, and it just works better and you understand what you have in front of you. So this is a really great way to do it. So let's keep going. We're going on to number C25. Let's see what undertones it has. Okay, that was the last one of the 42 colors that comes in this Superior watercolor set. Remember, any of the products that I use today during this will be linked in the video description in case you are interested. I love swatching. I love filling up this swatch book with all of my supplies. I'm going to continue to swatch. I have some additional new paints on their way from Amazon right now that I'm so excited about. When they arrive, I'm going to be doing some more swatching, and I'm going to do it here on this channel. So make sure that you are subscribed so you don't miss out these beautiful new metallic paints that are on their way. I have some more exciting products that are coming. We're going to be testing out water-soluble crayons, water-soluble pencils, all kinds of amazing fun products this month for World Watercolor Month. I can't wait to celebrate with you. Don't forget to come and order one of these fun books just for you so that you can keep track of all your beautiful colors and be inspired by them next time you want to sit down and do some painting. Look at that, all of them laid out, ready for me to pick and choose and mix and decide, and I can flip through my book like a catalog of inspiration. It's amazing. So thank you for joining me. I hope I've inspired you, and I hope you pull out your paints and do something creative today. So I hope you have a wonderful, colorful, blissful day. Bye-bye, everyone.